All right, this video is called Dangerous and Very Few of You Know It. So, we got a new hoemath reaction. And apparently, we're going to be talking about men and their danger to society. So, let's go.
Are super dangerous for society. I think they are going to damage so many of us, including just women in general. I feel like they are.
Wrong. You are dangerous. In fact, you might be the
This
most
message is pretty
dangerous thing.
dangerous.
Here's why. What she said was men are dangerous and will hurt women. Now, she doesn't mean all men. She means only the men who she believes to have power over her in her country, presumably the United States from her accent. And we know that she's not talking about all men because she would never say something so unkind about, for example, illegal immigrants who are not dangerous. She can correct me herself if I got that wrong. Here's a map of travel safety by country. See all these different colors? Green is a top score, although that was in 2013. Here's
Yeah,
an
man.
updated map. Most
Let's
dangerous
see.
countries for women 2024. Darker is safer. United States,
Okay.
doing pretty good. And typically, the men who live in a country tend to protect the women who live in a country from anybody outside the country. That's how things go. So when she says that men being in power is dangerous, it's not just false, it's anti-true. It's the
It's
opposite of true.
anti-true.
But she doesn't care
Okay.
about that. She doesn't even believe what she's saying. This is just a power game that she's playing. It's kind of like when women call each other tens even though they don't believe it, and they're basically saying, oh, you're so beautiful all the way down there. Keep acting like a 10 so you're not competition for me. Men tend to seek
We
power
talked about
through
this in the last
open,
hoemath
direct
video.
competition. They just say, this is the power I have, and then they clash. Women, on the other hand, tend to seek power by playing nice on the outside and being self-protective through strategies like appearing to be a victim. Women will often accuse men of hurting them or being about to hurt them so that everybody dog piles on those men and takes their power away, which then becomes her power. And even though this video is terribly low quality, it is also persuasive. It causes people to agree with her, which then leads to a group strategy of women all over the internet
Group
agreeing
persuasion.
to say that men are bad
Mm.
and dangerous in order to take their power away, despite that they are doing a relatively good job. Persuasion is one of my favorite topics. It's all about using conscious strategies to influence the subconscious, and you can read more about it on Shortform, the sponsor of
W
this
ad.
video. Shortform makes it easy to learn the basics from classic books or to brush up on books you've already read. Here's my favorite book on persuasion. I use Shortform to quickly browse through the main points and refresh my memory. This one's
Okay.
basically the topic of this video. Shortform is great for self-improvement. You can learn to manage stress, master your ego, and turbocharge your brain. Shortform publishes
Sounds
new book
cool.
guides and articles every week, and if you subscribe, you get to vote on which ones they do next.
Oh,
Shortform is always
wow.
adding new
Okay.
features like their AI browser extension that applies its summary style to anything on the internet. Here it is working on my Who is a 10 video.
Seriously.
Pretty accurate. The first 1,000 subscribers who use my link get a
Wow.
free trial and 20% off an annual subscription.
The future
Subscribe
is
now
here,
with the link
man.
in the description and learn more about the irrational, emotional nature of human beings. Let's start with this one. I'll go through her video step by step to show why she's the problem.
I'm autistic and I am so tired of men.
Wow, let's file that in the no one asked folder. Next to
Wow.
astrological signs and pronouns, there's autism and hating men and who you want me to vote for. TikTok has a lot of that kind of stuff in it
Really?
and not a lot else. So
Got it.
why am I making this video if it's not important? Because these things become important when people pay attention to them. And that's what TikTok is. It's an attention ruiner. I got a lot of mileage out of this thing.
True.
The way it works is that you see something on your phone and it makes you go rawr because negative emotions make people respond more than positive ones. And then
That's
you
true.
project the rawr onto
It's sad,
whatever
but
thing
it's
it
true.
is that you think is making you feel that way. And then sometimes you take an action, which is how engagement farming works. It's making people mad enough to go, what can I do about this situation? And you either might leave a comment or, in her case, make another video that says, man bad. And of course, at no point does she question whether this fits into the world that she wants to create or whether this is the right thing to do. So, what
Nah,
else is
nobody
in
thinks
here?
about
I
that.
have a message that I want to share with you guys. I want to share with you guys how I think men are super dangerous for society. I think they are going to damage so many of us, including just women in
Why?
general.
I'd like to
So
hear her
I
say
put
why.
those in feelings and
Why?
opinions. Men are
Why do you
dangerous
think
and men
this?
will hurt women. Now, those might sound like objective claims because it is a fact that some men are dangerous
A hundred
and hurt
percent.
a
Yeah,
lot of things all the time.
of
And
course.
it's a statistical certainty that some men will at some point in the future hurt some women. But the
Yes.
reason it's not a fact or an objective claim, what you said, is because there's just no details like how many men do we need to worry about? What percentage of the set of men are dangerous? Is it different from population to population? Are
Yeah, is it different by culture as well? Does it matter if they're in the United States or if they're in Asia? Like 100%.
there
Yeah.
different kinds of men that are more or less dangerous that we need to worry about?
That too. Yeah, yeah.
What about compared to women? What about the damage that women
What
do?
type
Because
of
remember,
women? Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing damage right now by spreading bad attitudes on the
That's true.
internet that make women lash out at men, and then that hurts men, and then that makes them lash out. And, what about quantifying it? Is the
How
damage
much
that
damage
men do
is
going up or down? Or
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't really include
What
any
type
of
of
this. You
damage?
just
Is this physical, mental,
sort
emotional?
of
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
man bad. Got any
Yeah.
more feelings?
I gotta hear the why. There
Are
has to be a
not
why in
supportive
this.
of
There has
women's
to be,
rights and who we
right?
are.
Okay,
Okay. Not supportive of women's rights. Okay.
similarly, no evidence for this one.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, women have a lot of rights nowadays, so I don't know what she's talking about.
She even keeps saying I feel, which is helpful. I'm just gonna put this here in case she says a fact at some point. She's not
Damn,
even defining what women's rights are or giving examples of
that's also true.
supporting who they are, whatever that means.
I feel like they are taking over our country and it's a men's world right now.
Whoa, that's a pretty wacky one.
They,
They
oh,
are
us
taking
versus them
over
mentality is
our
not good.
country? Am I
Uh-oh.
a they? Am I
Uh-oh.
invading America right now? That would be so embarrassing. Let's just put a they over there. And then she says that it's a men's world right now. And I gotta say, as long as we're doing feelings, it doesn't feel like it is. This went viral recently.
It
I've
doesn't
sent
feel like a man's
100
world.
applications as a man and a woman. It's much better being a woman. And that's not exactly science, but it is a
That's not
lot
science at
closer
all.
than anything you said. So apparently, this guy works in computer
A
science, and
double
he took
negative.
his CV and changed the name to a female name. And then he
Okay.
applied to jobs with his real name, waited a while, and applied with the female name. Out of 100 applications, his male name got 7 responses, and out of 100 applications, his female name got 45. That's
If anything, this shows that more women are in the workforce, or
650%
they have more opportunity to get inside of the workforce.
more likely. He even tried looking for working class jobs, and he got almost 9 times more responses. And this is
That's
more than
insane.
4 years old, and things have gotten worse. So,
Oh
since
yeah,
we're
I
doing
bet.
feelings, you started it, that feels like the last 20 years of my life. And some people might argue that the kind of job you can get is the primary determinant of how much of the world is yours. I checked around, and other men feel it too. They feel being very much not in control. About this many
Understandably
in
so.
less than a year, and these on Instagram. This actually took 2 weeks. So, do
That's
our
good.
feelings matter or just yours? Not that we need feelings when there are national hiring experiments that reveal a 2-to-1 preference for women. And here's a diversity
Yeah.
study from LinkedIn.
And that would make sense, man. A lot more women get hired than men. Like we just saw old buddy do a test earlier. Like, yeah,
Saying
we
that women are
100%.
16% more likely than men to get hired after applying to a job. 18% if it's a senior role. Doesn't feel like a man's
Really?
world to me.
Huh.
What else you got?
And I do not feel like men should be in control. I feel like the reason why we're in so many
Why?
issues right now is because men have been in control.
So then issues come from men being in control. Okay, so
Bro, I need to point out that there has never been a successful matriarchy ever in the whole span of history. There's never been one single successful matriarchy. Let that shit sink in.
According to you, let's fit that in here, according to feminism in general, men have been in control since the beginning of time, and they have been oppressive to everyone. And only recently, women have gotten freedom, and everything is going to get better forever. It's not true, it's a lie. Reality is a lot more complicated, but that is what all feminists say
It
all the
is
time.
very
So if
complicated.
men have been in control since caveman times, here's another stupid fantasy about women hunting woolly mammoths in this
Stupid
blizzard.
fantasy.
And then we started gradually living in tents, and then castles, and then apartments, and now the world looks like
Apartments
this.
suck.
Then where did all this stuff come from? It didn't happen when men were in control? Have you ever been up the Space Needle? It's pretty cool. It's the opposite of having issues. So what are you even talking about? You've got no facts and you can't even get your feelings straight. We're taking over, but we already took over, and it was bad before, but it's bad now, even though it's
Even
good
though it's
now
way
because
better. Yeah, it's way better for women now than it was even 20 years ago.
you're getting freedom, but you don't have freedom because it's our world, even though you have all the advantages. This is all, crap. This is babbling
Woe is
idiocy.
me.
So why am I talking about it? Because the fact that it's stupid doesn't mean that it's not popular. That did better than it
Facts.
should have. Look at this crap. Can you imagine? Over here
I
is
don't
a
need to
girl
imagine it.
celebrating being mean to a guy who's good to her. 4.8 million. Absolute brain rot. This is the quality of what most people send me on TikTok. That one looks pretty good. I can kind of tell from looking by now. So there's a lot of low.
Hold on, what did I
That
say?
one
I'm a solid 5.6. I guess I'm ugly. Oh,
looks pretty good. I
you
can
said it, not
kind of tell
him.
from looking by now.
You
So
said it,
there's a
man.
lot of low quality content getting pumped out really fast, and a lot of it is persuasive. Here's Win Bigly again on short form. The basics are
W ad.
that we all think we're enlightened, and people who disagree with us just need better facts, but in reality,
Better
we make
facts.
decisions first, more irrationally than we realize, and then we rationalize them later. So here are some objective claims for you. I put them in blue for boys. Low quality
Woo!
content is more popular than ever, and feelings are persuasive. They change people's minds. So that means that content like this, me giving my boyfriend a cruel attitude when he treats me like a princess, look at her go, uses feelings to convince people of horse shit like this and this. Combine that with scrolling through TikTok, and your brain just doesn't have time to think about things on a rational level. You're just going feeling swipe,
Yep,
feeling swipe.
yep,
You're
yep, yep,
having
yep.
reflexes.
Plus, it's like when it's TikTok, it's usually, and let me know if I'm wrong, right? I'm assuming it's between like 10 to 60 seconds of a clip, right? On TikTok. Like not many people would even consider giving anything that short amount of time this amount of effort, man. So shout out to hoemath for going out of his way to create a video on something that's legitimately fast food content. Because the span that it took hoemath to create this video, that lady could have put out 50 of those same types of videos. Maybe
And
even more,
impulses,
bro. It's
and like it or
crazy.
not, those are programming you, and they are having this effect on the world. They see the video, it gives them a feeling, they project it onto the world, and they have a reaction. Some of the reactions are to make more videos, which then are seen by more people, causing
It's a
more
feedback
feelings,
loop.
more
It's a
projections, and
feedback
more
loop.
reactions,
Yep, yep, yep,
some
yep,
of
yep.
which are videos. And they are full
Mhm.
of ass backwards, opposite from the truth lies like these. And that's one of the primary ways that women get power, by making shit up while looking nice on the outside.
And by the way, when they make stuff up and then they get to these positions of power, that does not make things better. In fact, it makes everything way, way worse.
And that's what is actually dangerous. You
And you know what's also dangerous? A lot of men don't feel comfortable calling out women that decide to make these manipulative power plays. It's very dangerous to do so because there's a lot of men out here that will only think, oh, well, if it's a woman, she's automatically right. And there's also people that think if it's a man, it's automatically right. But for some reason, we if it happens to be a man saying something, we like to dig a little deeper to make sure it's accurate. Why don't we dig a little deeper for whoever says something, just so it makes sense? Not a lot of people want to do it or have time to do it, but it's something that needs to be done, man. It is important.
You are telling harmful lies to convince mass numbers of women and weak and fearful men and other Democrats of the direct opposite of the truth, which might have something to do with this. Among young Americans aged 18 to 29, the men are maintaining a stable political orientation, while the women are getting more liberal, which often looks like this. Man
Mm.
bad is just a part of the Democratic platform at this point, and that's despite the fact that man obviously not bad. Man doing a pretty good job compared to some places.
I do not think men should continue to be in control of anything. I think men being in control of our country and the system is very dangerous for our country and the system moving forward.
Bro, the way she just rolls her eyes, I feel like she just doesn't even believe the shit that she's saying. Why should I?
So I will continue to keep speaking. I will continue to keep sharing messages.
Please don't.
No,
Please stop sharing. And if not for me, then at least do it for the Peace and Security Index.
peace and security index, man. Okay, that was whole math. And honestly, I am not surprised. I feel like, when I first started watching these whole math videos, man, I was more naive to the issues going on with society due to me just being so into my own personal goals and personal journey. But to see more of this stuff comes to the light, it's not even surprising at this point. It's just sad. And if it doesn't change, man, you know, survival of the fittest. At the end of the day, societies have risen, collapsed all through history. It might be time for this collapse, and it would obviously suck. Nobody. I personally, even though I'm, you know, prepared for it, I wouldn't want it to happen. You know what I'm saying? Who wants society to crash besides people that think they know better than what they really do? Because after it crashes, you still need to rebuild it. So if you're not smart enough to rebuild it after it crashes, you're probably going to die in the crash, or you're probably not going to like the restructuring. You're going to ostracize yourself and then die anyway. But it is what it is. They got TikTok brains anyway. This was a dope video. I enjoyed watching this. Shout out to Whole Math, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more reactions like this, drop videos like this in the Discord link down below. Hit the like button while you're down there. Subscribe if you're new. It's your boy KhunShawn. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.